Welcome to Insights into Success. We're with your host Paul Dodds. We hope to educate, inspire and motivate you to achieve your own personal success. We talk to guests from all around the world from a variety of walks of life to hear the realities of their own journey to success. What challenges have they faced? How have they coped with failure? And what have been the keys or will be the keys to their own success? In our Read to Succeed interviews, we talk books that have inspired our guests, and for some, they share their secrets to marketing success. Join us as we give you insights into success. We do a little segment called Read to Succeed, and it's only about 5 or 10 minutes just to share any books that people read that are of any significance that you've kind of been impactful in their life. Is that something like, I mean, I know you got your own books, but what do you, I assume you probably read quite a bit, do you?
I do. So I'm a big Malcolm McDowell fan. Malcolm Gladwell fan. The Tipping
Right.
Point was I've probably read that 3 times. There's a book called the 80-20 Rule, basically the Pareto Principle, which is also there's lots of books called that one way or the other, and they're all pretty much, they're basically just talking about, the 20% of the cause is creating 80% of the effect, and whether it's negative or positive. And I actually completely overhauled my business at UBS based on that principle. Let's see. I'm a big fan of biographies.
Yeah.
So, I read books. I've read everything I can get my hands on about Elon Musk.
Oh, okay. What's your take on him? I've read one book on him. What's your take on him?
Yeah. So, I guess I take him in the totality of his life so far, writing software in South Africa and selling his first software game for $500, and then writing another one and selling it for, $50,000, whatever. And then he gets into the thing in Los Angeles where he's writing, they create this product for hotels to put on their website so people could find all the great restaurants and stuff. And he sells that for like $12 million. And then he gets into the PayPal thing and he sells that for $120 million. I'm thinking, okay, nobody knows about that. In the United States, everybody kind of picks him up at Tesla. Tesla was after SpaceX. So they're actually missing all that, including SpaceX, because it was a precursor to Tesla. And then they just know him as the Tesla guy. Right?
Yeah.
So that fascinates the hell out of me. Everything about Steve Jobs. I've read everything about Steve Jobs, and they both have a lot of the same character traits. They both seem to have this willingness to push beyond the mediocrity of the people around them. The famous thing of Steve Jobs holding up like a wallet or whatever, saying, "We're going to make a phone this size," and all the engineers said, "Yeah, whatever." And he started firing. He started firing engineers that refused to even accept the possibility of it. And now that would just been a dictatorial boss who never got anywhere, except that it actually happened, right?
Yeah.
It's a vision, so if Elon Musk says we're going to the moon, or if Elon Musk says, I'm going to, buy Twitter and do this with it, there's a lot of credibility there because he's actually executed ever since he was a young kid. And
Incredible.
And Steve Jobs delivered on almost everything. So in our country, Teddy Roosevelt as a president, again, kind of this long journey. When he was a young man, he had breathing problems and everything, and he went out west to try to fix his breathing, and then he ended up kind of becoming a cowboy and got all roughed up and got strong again and learned how to shoot and ride and everything. Then he came back, and he's from an affluent family in the Northeast of the United States, and then he eventually works his way up into politics, and then goes into war. And but he did a lot in this country where before unions were strong, and people don't really understand the intellectual capacity of the guy. They always kind of remember, the bigger than life kind of moments that you see in movies and things. But he actually there's a situation where there was a coal mine that was shut down. He put the owners of the coal mine, which were some of the equivalent to like billionaires these days, in one room at the White House. And he had asked for 4 or 5 representatives from the coal miners. They refused. They did a walkout. And he put them in another room. And then there was a room in the middle between them. And so he went in and he talked to to the rich guys, and they were like saying all what they thought about everything. Then he went and talked to the other guys, what they thought of everything. And then he said, well, we got some refreshments set up in here, so come on. And so he opened the doors, and they all walked in, and they looked at each other. and they're both pissed off. The coal miners were pissed off because there's the enemy, and the rich guys are pissed off because these guys are so far below me, I don't want to have a conversation with them. And then he said to both of them, if you guys don't work this out, I'm going to nationalize the coal industry.
Well, that's an incentive.
And you'll have the United States Army pulling coal out of those mines. So you think about it, and I'll be back in about an hour or so. And he left, and they came to an accord. He's also the guy who got the Nobel Peace Prize for brokering the peace between Japan and Russia when they went to war back in 1903 or something. So that's a different kind of guy. He's charging San Juan Hill. He's out there riding with cowboys. He's trying to, negotiate union stuff. And all of a sudden he's trying to stop a war, I'm really attracted to books about people that had those kinds of bigger than life, almost mythical capability to change the world,
And just to wrap it up, what's your reading style? Do you prefer traditional books, audio, Kobo, Kindle? How do you like to read?
I stopped with conventional books probably 3 years ago, mainly because I'm always in a state of reading about 12 or 13. I usually consume about 60 books a year.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. Probably about 20 of 60 would be fiction, and then the other 40 would be nonfiction.
Right.
And so if you're writing and you're studying and researching to write, like a business book, it's easier for me to listen to it in Audible. Sometimes I'll listen to it twice.
Yeah.
And I'll take notes as I'm listening, or take mental notes. I use Kindle for pretty much all my novel reading, because I can carry it anywhere and everywhere. I have that thing. It's always pretty close to me. And between those two, I consume that many books. I just don't have the time, nor do I have the eye power anymore to pick up. If I was picking up a paperback book or hardcover book, the next thing I'd have to have is my glasses in my hand, or else I can't do anything. Audible books, you don't have to worry about that. Kindles, you can supersize the font, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing is, the thing I love about both of those is I can carry, as many books as I want in either format. Yeah. Where I used to carry around, I used to have hard copy books stuffed in. I had like 3 in my truck. I have an FJ Cruiser. I'd have 3 in whatever vehicle I was driving. I'd have 1 in the bathroom, 2 by the bedstand, a couple in the TV room. I'd have them at work. Everywhere I went, I always had to have a book. If I thought I was going to go meet somebody and I was going to be 10 minutes early, I'd carry the book into the restaurant. And now I just do it with the Kindle, or I listen to the Audible while I'm driving from point to point.
Yeah.
It's a consumption decision. I can consume a lot more using those 2 formats.
Yeah, and you're a voracious reader too, so makes sense to do it that way.
Yeah.
All right, Marty. Well, thank you so much again. It's been an absolute pleasure. Really enjoyed talking to you, and thank you again for sharing.
All right, you take care.